Should we do this?
I say it's 5:01. Let's do it.
Let's get started.
All right.
Like you're teleporting.
All right. Well, I'm Lauren Verzilli. I'm the director of yoga at Ascend, and I'm here with the co-founders. We're going to be on talking for about 30 to 45 minutes, and we have some extra time. We've been coming up with some content just to get to know one another better and share ourselves a little more personally with the community. So I'll take a moment and just have everyone introduce themselves, and then also just touch on the current state of things we're dealing with as a company and as, you know, the world. So let's see. Let's just go to Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Bernstein. Obviously, by default, one of the three co-founders of Ascend. Pittsburgher, born and raised, grew up in Squirrel Hill, and have been happily together with my two business partners, Paul and Aaron, now for almost a decade, which is pretty wild. And I'm the, we might talk about this later on, but I'm the director of finance and business development for Ascend. And so I spend a lot of time in the office.
Cool. Paul?
Hi, my name is Paul Garino. I'm not from Pittsburgh originally, moved here in 2002, originally from Rochester, New York. Came here for college and never left. Became a bartender and at the Harris Grill in the Shady Side for quite some time, and met Alex and Aaron along the way, found climbing. And then, once Ascend became kind of a real thing, I knew that I definitely wasn't going to leave Pittsburgh. So I think at this point I've spent over half my life here now, or just about. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, Lauren.
No problem. Aaron?
Hey, yeah, sorry, I'm as we started, which was great. We're just introducing ourselves. I'm Aaron. Grew up just outside the city, a little town called Blairsville, and I've been climbing with Paul and Alex since like 2010, give or take. So yeah, about 10 years. And then joined alongside them for this project of Ascend.
Can you guys hear?
I help manage the route setting department and the facilities as well.
Oh, something happened. Hold on.
We can hear our administrator, Caitlin. I think we're working through some technical difficulties. I forgot to mention that on a daily basis, I also am the director of marketing and operations.
You can definitely see all of you guys around the gym pretty often, though.
Yeah, we're there all the time. I live 2 blocks away, so I'm there all the time.
I was just wondering, is that why Ascend is in the South Side, because it's so convenient for you, Paul?
No, that is not why. That's a good story. But no, I lived in the East End, Bloomfield and Friendship for about 10 years before moving back to the South Side. I went to Duquesne University, so I spent a lot of my college years in the South Side, moved away from the South Side life, and never wanted to come back for a while. And then Ascend just happened to find itself in the South Side. We were really excited about the location. And so after about a year of opening, my wife, Crystal, and I decided to simplify our lives, save some commuting time, being that we both spent all of our time at Ascend, me more so than her. But, you know, we decided to move close by, and it's been an amazing change. I bought myself probably like 45 minutes to an hour every day of my life, which is awesome. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's go ahead and just talk about the current state of things for a moment. I'm sure everyone's wondering what's happening now, what's going to happen when we're free to resume back to our new normal. Whoever wants to touch on this, maybe Alex from the business side of things.
Yeah, sure. So we're in the same boat that everybody else is, where we we have a brick and mortar business that is heavily based on social interaction and people being in the same space together. And originally, to do our part when we were first learning about the severity of COVID-19, we closed our doors on March 15th, which really, unfortunately, coincidentally, was our exact 3-year anniversary. So 3 years from opening our doors, we closed them to the public to make sure that we were being good community partners and keeping our staff safe and keeping our customers safe. And honestly, since like March 11th, like everything just keeps changing, like minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. The Pennsylvania state government has been at least pretty consistent with their messaging in the last couple of weeks, and just pushing out social distancing guidelines and deadlines. So just like many other businesses, we're closed, and we are closed at least through the end of April. Right now, at least in Pennsylvania and Ohio, all of the stay-at-home orders are in our area until at least May 1. So we're assessing what happens after April 30th. But in the meanwhile, our upper management team, which consists of 13 people, including the 4 faces you see here, we're all still fully working and like fully operational remotely, and working on programming like this and like Ascend to Go to bring you all something that you can do at home. But one of the big things, just super quickly and not to be very long-winded, obviously the CARES Act is something that a lot of you are hearing about, and is something that we have spent a lot of time in the last 2 weeks learning about ourselves, applying for, and doing everything that we can to ensure that we can bring we had to furlough a lot of our staff who are hourly folks that couldn't work on site during this closure. And we had no idea how long this thing was going to be. And so we had to make the really hard decision of furloughing a large majority of our staff. Our fingers are crossed that sooner than later, we can bring everybody back on thanks to the CARES Act, and do some cool remote things in the meanwhile. But we're honestly like full steam ahead planning on how things look after May 1, or when we're able to open, and the new awesome things at the gym, like some cleaner walls and cleaner floors and some other improvements. So anyway, sorry to ramble. It's kind of everything in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm sure people are wondering. So the more information, the better in this situation. Paul or Aaron, do you have anything to share with the community regarding COVID and what's going on?
Not too much, just echoing Alex when he says, we're excited to be able to bring employees back and learning more about what that means, like literally every day. We're kind of in the process yesterday, today, tomorrow, kind of figuring out what that means, how that means, communicating with the right people at the right time. It's definitely tricky. There's no playbook for this. So we're lucky to have a solid team to navigate the ever-changing information, and just trying to make the best decision for Ascend now, Ascend 1 month from now, and then even 1 or 2 years from now. We really care deeply about not only the business but the customers and our employees, trying to create something that'll last a long time. And so these are just a couple of really difficult months, but we're really focused on how to make this a great couple of years going forward still. So.
Yeah, and I think we're really fortunate that we have a great community of climbers and yogis and fitness people. I'm sure there's a lot of businesses out there right now that are just closed and don't have customers and don't have that community support. So I think we are in a fortunate place to have a community that's helping support us, and that we can kind of do things like this and all of the online offerings and just stay in touch with the community. So that's something I'm thankful for through this.
Definitely. The social realm has brought a lot of goodness during this time. And I should have noted that if there's anything you want to share or ask on the Facebook page, just type it in the comments, whether it comes up now for you or afterwards. You can just leave it and we'll do our best to get back to you. Other than that, I mean, you can find the majority of the story about how Ascend started on the website and then in all three of your bios and whatnot. But when I was writing my blog the other day, I kind of shared a part of the story about how I got into yoga that I typically don't tell people. So I want to know what, I'm sure you guys have like a 30-second elevator speech where you can tell like the Ascend story real quick, but I want to know what you typically leave out. Like, what are some aspects about Ascend in the making, or your part in Ascend, that you don't typically share?
Wish we would have
Well-
gotten that question in advance. Well,
I asked you guys, you said no.
You did.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
see?
real quick, I just want to chime in real quick back on the COVID messaging.
Yeah.
I just encourage people, if they do have any questions, always reach out to us. All of the information that we have is posted right on our homepage at ascendclimbing.com. So don't hesitate if you have any questions to get in touch with us and to read that. That's just always there. We're going to keep that updated the more we know. So, Lauren, that is a great question. I will share maybe something. Oh yeah, okay. Here's something. I got it. So when it originally started with Alex and I, and about less than a year into this, we met Aaron and kind of became the threesome that we are. But at first, Alex and I were trying to write the business plan and write the financial projections. And I went to business school. I have an MBA. So that made me qualified to be the finance person. Alex was the linguistics and kind of he wrote well and spoke well, so he'll write the business plan. Within a few months, we completely swapped because I had almost zero Excel skills. I'm not that great with numbers. It's not my forte. Alex somehow is better at it than me. He picked it up really quickly. I would still argue that Alex is a better writer than I am, but I took to that much more. And so we kind of found our groove, kind of flipped our roles early on. But just to linger on that for a minute, we didn't know what we were doing at all. We like climbing. We climbed all the time at the climbing wall in Pittsburgh. We visited other bigger, newer facilities with yoga and fitness and programming in other cities. And so we wanted to bring that to Pittsburgh. And that's kind of all we knew. We were like, oh, we can do it. We had no money. We had no property. We, turns out, had very little information on the climbing industry or anything really. We just kind of knew that we wanted to do it. And that's kind of when we met Aaron too, was like, oh, this guy is the head route setter at the climbing wall. He knows all about climbing. He's our most knowledgeable gym employee that we could possibly find. So that's kind of how it started. It was really just a dream. And now I'd consider us at 9-10 years into this project, fairly savvy and ingrained in the industry at this point. So.
Something not on a low note, but something that most people probably aren't aware of is it was really hard. And I know that Paul forever has wanted to write this long blog post describing the trials and tribulations of doing this. But I think all of us went into this with a pretty idealistic view of we're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be all these people involved and it's just going to be fantastic. I do spend a lot of time looking at spreadsheets and bookkeeping and a lot of really non-glamorous things behind the scenes to make a social, exciting enterprise work on a daily basis. And I think that's a big takeaway from all of this for me has just been it's hard. but it also is made way easier with partners. And like, this would not have been possible if it weren't for the three of us doing all of the things that we do together, and then getting joined up with 11 other upper management folks, from general managers to our director of yoga programming and fitness and whatnot, that like, this is a total collaborative team effort. So anyway, just, you know, it's not, I truly hope that every moment things look like amazing from an outward perspective. But it's hard, it turns out.
Yeah, I think, and maybe it was said on the website or in previous tellings of how we started, but yeah, I think the biggest thing people might not realize is we've already thrown around the number a couple times of being like, oh, we've been working together for 9 years or 10 years, and this has been a long project. And in reality, we've only been open for 3 years. But the amount of work and disappointment that went into those first 5 or 6 years, I think is something probably people don't quite realize. The number of real estate things that fell through for us, the different buildings that we had and lost. Kind of joke at this point, I think we've designed like 8 climbing gyms. So I think there was just a lot of work going into it, and people probably don't realize all of that, but yeah.
Was there any
Also,
time where
we're asking, no, there's no sympathy request here, I think, from any of us. We're all like, this has worked out great. I mean, we're surrounded by amazing like coworkers and staff members and members and customers every single day. And like, no matter how frustrating a single task might be or how long it took to do something, like, we're living the dream. It's pretty awesome.
right? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I do.
It's,
Yeah, sorry, Lauren.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Ad, because I was going to ask you guys something else.
Yeah, I was just going to say it is simply said, I think it's a job. You know, at the end of the day, we have jobs, you know, and we work just like everyone else. But I do step back a lot and have to remember how lucky we are, how truly lucky we are to have this passion project. I think it's important for us to remember that and be really grateful for the ability to work, you know, on a project that we care about. Not many people have that opportunity. And, you know, we talked about how hard we worked, but we also got really lucky too. I mean, there's a lot that went into this over the time, and it just kind of like worked out. And now looking back on it, and I hope that we can look back, you know, for decades at some point, but, you know, for now we're still riding this initial wave, and it's fun. And so, yeah, it's, I feel very lucky that we have this.
I have to say, working alongside you guys, that I'm not surprised, but I definitely notice how you take a moment to just like appreciate the team and the community. Because I think a lot of the times people do get wrapped up in all the daily work and whatnot. So it's nice just even to be around, you know, someone so involved and still feel appreciated. You know, everyone, guests, I hope the guests and members feel the same.
Yeah, it's been pretty, during this closure, some of that has been highlighted. Like, all of our communication with people is digital right now, which is not what a normal day at Ascend is like. I mean, there are however many people in the building talking to each other, engaging with the staff at the front desk, engaging with each other. And so everything has been really remote. But to get messages from our customers, not only saying like, hey, did you guys hear about this thing in the CARES Act? Like, I just learned about it at work. You guys might benefit from it. Or like, hey, thanks for getting Ascend to Go yoga going. Like, it's keeping me sane while we're gone. It's been nice to, you know, not only stay connected with the community, but, you know, sometimes I don't know, it's just nice to hear those bits of feedback and know that we're still connected and we're, you know, still able to do some good while the doors are closed.
What are the ways that you guys are feeling most connected just to anything that you're typically involved in? I know, Alex, you're a part of a couple groups, or is it just like the videos, or do you join a lot of Zoom hangouts?
I've never Zoomed so much in my life as I have in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm getting really good with virtual backgrounds here. I'll go to the gym for this next part. It's this is kind of as good as it gets, unfortunately, right now. And we've also been lucky to be an organization that has tech savvy people in it. And so the folks that are working remotely, we have a meeting every morning at 10 a.m. and talk about what's going on that day and just check in with people, make sure everybody's doing well. And so thankfully technology is there to keep us connected in that regard. I wish there was more. I can't wait to like shake somebody's hand, hopefully in some time. But yeah, a lot of Zoom.
Right. Hopefully
I've been running a lot, really.
Running. How are you guys
Yeah.
staying active? Did anyone make their own hangboard? Did you guys? Or do you have one?
No, I don't actually. I live next to a climbing gym, so I didn't build a home wall.
Right. Better get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a home wall, but I did put up my hangboard last week. So
Nice.
honestly, now in those 10 a.m. meetings, a lot of times when my video isn't working well, I'm just doing pull-ups on my hangboard. So
Nice.
Okay.
nobody can see me.
Great. Great.
What about you, Lauren? What are you doing?
So much yoga online. The first week that we were home, I was so sore. I haven't done so much yoga since probably my training. It's just
Wow.
so accessible. I mean, a lot of local studios have their own accounts and everything, so I've been utilizing those. And then also just clicking into other people's from our YouTube page that pop up. So lots of yoga. And then sometimes I like FaceTime with my friends and do some squats and whatnot. So definitely keeping active, but miss the community as much as anyone else does, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've also been keeping up with as arguably the most casual climber of the 3 co-founders. I have found myself in the last few months doing a lot more fitness related things. And so I started working with our director of fitness, Sarah, doing some personal training because I am a stick, I'm a twig, and I needed some help. And through Ascend to Go, I can get my butt kicked just, looking at our Instagram and seeing what a 30-minute workout looks like, or following along on Facebook. So definitely, like,
Yeah.
I'm thankful for our own programming because it's keeping me sane here at home.
Kind of curious in just the world now, like how much this experience will change, like the virtual landscape of yoga classes and fitness classes. And, we are offering some online, and how much that will continue. And if there's a bunch of people out there who are just going to start going to virtual yoga classes now, who knows?
I get worried about that. I'm like, what if they're just going to keep watching YouTube videos?
I don't
They
think
never
so.
come back.
I'll tell you what, I thought about this the other day, and I do think that we'll keep some aspect of Ascend to Go when we reopen. I think it's a great outlet for us and for customers. I think it's a good outreach program. But I really think people, I don't know, maybe you'll disagree, but I think people want to be in a space with people. I've done, my workouts at home too, and it's fine, but it can get kind of boring, it's a grind. And so you're just like, when you're in a yoga class with 20 people and you can hear the ujjayi and you can hear Lee yelling at you, it's like you want to be there. It's harder to get motivated at home for sure. We're all doing it, and we might have to do it for another couple months even, but I think when we can reopen, people are gonna definitely want to come back into these spaces, these third spaces at all these climbing gyms and yoga studios and everything, really, restaurants, bars.
Right.
So yeah,
There's definitely nothing like being in a class with everyone else.
Yeah.
To that point, just want to at least touch on, like, we are thinking about the future, not just in regards to, like, does Ascend to Go make the cut when the doors reopen, but we're doing we're doing everything we can to ensure that Ascend can reopen as early as possible in all of this unknown and all this uncertainty. And there are undoubtedly going to be some changes that we need to make in terms of class capacity,
Right.
and maybe even facility capacity. We have no idea what Ohio and Pennsylvania rules might be for some period of time, but we really want to get we want to get back to some level. We want to get back to the new normal as soon as possible, but we definitely want to make sure that our community is as safe and as healthy as possible. So certainly more to come on that. We don't even know what that all means at this point, but we're not just going to fling the doors open one day and say everybody come back on in, because this
Right.
I think it's going to be weird for a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Cool. I had a question, as not so much of as a climber, as I would hope. What are some of your favorite or most shopped brands, and why? I know
Like
we
climbing
carry a
brands?
handful of them in our shop, but I just was curious what your take on it was.
I shop at the Ascend retail shop for all of my t-shirt needs.
Yeah.
We know.
Probably one of my most shopped brands.
No, I meant climbing gear. I meant climbing gear and outdoor gear.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I've come across this year is Black Diamond's climbing jeans. I've never purchased climbing jeans before, but I always climb in jeans. So I kind of splurged on the Black Diamond climbing jeans this year, and really
Nice.
love them. So
Cool.
I think
Nice.
they'll be my go-to pants from now on.
Nice.
I was going to give a shout out to Organic, local to Pennsylvania, which a lot of people don't know. And Todd, our retail director and outdoor guide, many of you know Todd McCormick. He is going to be interviewing Josh, who's the founder and the main guy over at Organic, I think next week. So that's on the Ascend to Go page listed, I believe, or it will be soon. So that should be pretty interesting. They make great chalk bags, crash pads, and they're creative. They're made locally, so that's great. But they're high quality products. You can customize everything. So I'm a big fan of organic climbing.
Great. And Todd has someone from Evolve coming in,
Yeah.
or not coming in, but talking.
Yeah, Evolve. Kurt Smith is one of the sales reps for Evolve, and a couple other brands as well. But they're Todd and Kurt, and Kurt's an old school climber with a lot of awesome stories and first descents back in the, I'd say correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope to not age him too much, but the late 90s, early 2000s, so he's a great dude, and he and Todd have gotten really close, and so that should be a pretty good conversation. I think that's happening this
Friday.
week, maybe Friday. Okay, yeah, so that'll be cool. Kurt's an awesome dude, and Evolve every year just gets, and from my opinion, gets better and better. Their shoes are great. Their customer service is awesome. So we really enjoy working with Evolve. Many vendors to talk about, really, but they're Evolve's a good company. So.
Nice.
You waiting for me?
Well, I know you already said
Okay.
you just buy Ascend t-shirts, so we accept that as an answer.
Yerba mate. It's a great drink. It gets you real amped up to
For
climb. So that's
Nice. Awesome. Well, guys, we're probably going to wrap things up here soon, but if you have anything else to share, I know we can't share too much information about what to expect in the future, just everything's so uncertain. Just any final statements?
Sure. I just want to, say as openly to as many people as possible, like Paul, Aaron, and I are here, and we're here all the time, and we're always listening. And so feel free to reach out to us. I mean, we're here to answer questions. All of our upper management team are great and accessible, and yeah, I mean, we're part of the community too. So Our contact info is on the website. It's all of our first names at ascendclimbing.com for email addresses. Yeah, we're here, we're accessible, and happy to chat if you want to chat.
Yeah, I think another thing, Alex, maybe back me up here if I speak incorrectly, but another kind of elephant in the room is and this is common, a lot of gyms have been getting this, why are you still charging for memberships if you're not open? I wanted to touch on that earlier and I forgot. I know that's a big choice that we made. Really there's hundreds of gyms in our situation and a lot of other businesses that aren't gyms that have different pricing models and different types of communities and business structures. So we consulted with numerous kind of industry friends of ours, climbing gyms. There were a lot of conferences in the first few days that this was all unfolding across the country. And so we kind of went with the plan that we have right now, which is continuing to bill for those people that are able to and who would like to support us. One of the big questions I think that people have now is, well, you furloughed some of your staff, you're getting membership money, and now there's this CARES Act. So like, what does that all mean? Are you guys gonna hire your employees back? Are you gonna take a huge profit this month? Like what, and so we recently put out a statement that I encourage people to read, which is on the homepage there and on Instagram recently, but it's kind of our commitment to everybody, and that, just acknowledging that we don't know 100% a couple weeks from now, a couple months from now, how this is all going to unfold. So it was in our best interest, in really the community's best interest, we believe, to have that membership income coming in to the highest degree possible, and then kind of see what financial aid we could get, then see what we could do for our employees. So we're putting this together as we go. Our commitment basically states that we're going to divert any potential, profits that could be made in this time and put them toward a number of things. Basically, we're not going to profit from this in terms of like cash in our pockets kind of a way. I know that was a very rudimentary way to put it, Alex, if you wanted to finesse that a little bit more with your finance hat, but we really just needed to make sure that the business could reopen in good faith or in good solvency. And we are really eager to bring our employees back and have them work from home and then eventually back into space as soon as possible. So that's kind of a little bit on that. I know people have questions on that, so.
Yeah, I honestly don't have too much to add. I mean, I don't think you said that poorly at all, Paul. There's still so many unknowns, and there's just a lot of uncertainty going on. And I think that what we did on April 1, it might look different than what we will try to do on May 1, should we still be closed. And we are honestly, we spend more time than you would think thinking through every single decision that we make with this company. And every decision we do make, we are trying to find the highest and greatest benefit for the most people possible. And so, inevitably there's going to be a con to every choice that we make. Billing on April 1, we heard from a few folks that didn't get our emails and didn't get our messaging, and they weren't happy about it. And we're legitimately sorry about that. And we're giving refunds and we're doing everything we can to make that right. But we stand by the decisions we've made so far. And we really hope that sooner than later, like, this is back to normal, and it's going to be at different times, but back to normal for our employees as soon as possible, back to normal for our customers as soon as possible, back to normal for our families who have to deal with us working at the dining room table as soon as possible. So we're working through this and trying to make it the best scenario possible for as many people as possible.
Great. Awesome. Trying to be pretty transparent about everything, so you can always visit our website, and like Alex said and Paul said, reach out to us. We're here to support you guys just as much as you support us. So we appreciate it, and we hope you're well. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.